I think the most interesting thing that happened in Hollywood in World War II was the Hollywood Canteen. It wouldn't have existed without Bette Davis. John Garfield was also instrumental in making it possible. The studio heads were scared of Bette Davis by that time. She could get pretty much whatever she wanted.
She's badass.
Yeah, she found a building that would make a great nightclub, as you will. It was an old warehouse kind of looking thing, and Sunset Glower somewhere in there, where it was, and decided she was going to open a club strictly for GIs to honor them. It wasn't going to cost any money, but you could only get in with your GI uniform. As an officer, you couldn't get in.
Oh, wow.
It was just for the servicemen. And so she went to all the studio heads and got them to participate, and got not only them to provide the entertainment, which were the big bands at the time, Artie Shaw, Kay Kaiser, whoever, to come and perform for these guys. But she also got all of the stars to serve as waiters and waitresses.
Oh, that's so fun.
And every night drew their own night. And so she was there many nights serving sandwiches, donuts, whatever. All the food was free. And you got to come in if you were a GI. And they served over 2 million GIs in World War II from that facility, as those men got to dance with the likes of Ida Lupino and Joan Crawford and the other big stars of the time. They got entertained by the likes of Judy Garland and Bing Crosby and all those big stars at the time. And so the Hollywood Canteen really reflected Hollywood at its best. There's a movie that's made about it that's based on the 100th man who entered the canteen. He was played by an actor named Robert Hutton, but all these different stars appear in this movie too.
Yeah.
And it really does, I think, show the best of Hollywood during that time, and showed the fact that the Hollywood actors and actresses were all in on helping the war effort. It was truly a united country. One of the most interesting things that Bette Davis did, though, and John Garfield as well, was insist that the club be integrated.
I love it.
And it was one of the first clubs in the United States where black GIs were allowed in as well, and singled out. And she posed with pictures in them, and black movie stars such as Hattie McDaniel and others were hostesses. It was a place where, on a dance floor, where white soldiers danced with black actresses, and vice versa. It helped pave the way for post-war as well, because the military was segregated at that point, where you had black units, white units. You didn't have units that mixed. And so this really, Bette Davis was instrumental, I think, and doesn't get enough credit, along with John Garfield, on integration in this country. Garfield, by the way, was an interesting case, because I think he's one of the greatest unknown actors of all time. His movies are just incredible. You look at him, and he could be in an average film. It became a great film because he was starring in it.
Yeah.
But Garfield only made 40 films because he died at the age of 39 of heart failure, heart attack.
That's so sad.
But Garfield tried to get in World War II. He failed the physical in all three branches of the service, plus the Coast Guard and the Merchant Marine. That's how much he wanted to serve in World War II.
Yeah.
Could not do it, and so the outlet became the Hollywood Canteen. And there were times it seemed he lived there, getting to know the GIs, getting to be a part of their lives. But I've collected a lot of stuff in the Hollywood Canteen over the years, just because I think it reflected Hollywood and possibly America at its best, because you had a nation united, fighting for a cause, particularly a fascist regime that definitely believed in a master race.
Yeah.
And yet you had Hollywood opening its doors to everyone, no matter their religion, no matter their ethnic background. And in doing so, I think it forecast what was coming in the 1960s and 70s in this country.
Did the Hollywood Canteen receive any backlash during that time for integrating so early on? Or was it one of those situations where everyone was just so hands on deck with World War II that they didn't really care until afterwards, and then they had to kind of fight it a little bit more?
There was obviously pressure to have a separate canteen for minorities.
Yeah.
Bette Davis wouldn't give in to the pressure.
Proud of her.
and so because Bette Davis wouldn't give in to the pressure, and John Garfield wouldn't give in to the pressure, it opened the door for all people to enter. I don't know that at that particular time there was much pushback because it was a war effort.
Yeah.
And because you were united on all fronts.
Yeah.
But I do believe that if it had been done at a time when there wasn't a war going on, there would have probably been issues. There probably would have been some editorials written about it. There would probably have been some things that would have happened that would have otherwise created enough flack that it may have not ever gotten wings.
Yeah.
But Bette Davis was a master at knowing timing too. She knew when to make a certain role in a film. She also knew this was the right time for something to happen.